entertaining talking sports.
What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the hot topic of the day. It's all over Twitter. It's all over ESPN. And I figured now that I've had more time to let it sink in, give my opinion on what the Philadelphia Eagles had to, what they did yesterday. And how I feel as a New York Giants fan in what they did. Of course, the Philadelphia Eagles held all the keys, to the car yesterday, right? Being that we needed the Eagles to win to allow us to make the playoffs after we beat the Dallas Cowboys. And instead, the Philadelphia Eagles elected to bench half their starters, take their quarterback out 3 quarters in. We saw what the Philadelphia Eagles did, right? Go for a very questionable 4th and goal at the 4 when you had an opportunity to tie it with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. I think it was clearly evident that Doug Peterson didn't care if you won that football game, regardless of what he said at the end of it. The players on the field played hard. The defense played hard. And the players with the Philadelphia Eagles, there was no denying it. If you listen to Jason Kelce's interview after the game, felt let down. They felt let down by their organization. They felt let down by their head coach. And I talked to a lot of Philadelphia Eagles fans going into this game, whether it was on my YouTube page, whether it was in my Discord, Bigger Mike, I'm talking to you, Gavin, and they all wanted the Philadelphia Eagles to lose. And obviously, understandable, right? And a lot of people on Twitter, the Eagles are smart. They're going to intentionally lose. They're trying to get a draft pick. It's the smart thing to do. But is it really? When you really look at the draft chart right now, the Eagles are picking 6th. Had they won, they would have been picking 9th. 2 of the teams that would have jumped them are 2 teams that are very rich at wide receiver. That being the Denver Broncos and the other being the Carolina Panthers. Both of them have a plethora of wide receivers. That is probably what the Philadelphia Eagles are going to target in this year's draft. Maybe you could argue Detroit, who is picking 7th, would have taken a wide receiver. But if the Eagles were going to take a wide receiver at 6, it is very possible that they would have gotten him at 9 anyway. So if you're going wide receiver, what did you really gain here? You probably still would have gotten one of the top 2 prospects. So whether it be Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith. So I don't even see what they really accomplished other than picking higher and having to pay that said player more. Maybe they take a quarterback. We'll have to wait and see. It's not like Jalen Hurts looked that great. But what you lost, and I'm not even going to get into the aspect of the New York Giants and the teams around the division yet, because the Cowboys would have been the same situation the Giants were. I'm going to get into what you lost, in my opinion, as an organization. The first thing is, as a Giants fan, I'm not saying this out of spite. This is my honest opinion. I watch a lot of Eagles games. I call a lot of Eagles games, so I watch them, very closely. Doug Peterson is a bad head coach, and I know some people may call me crazy for saying that. I watch Eagles games. I know he's got a Super Bowl title. I chalk a lot of that up to the surrounding talent on the coaching staff. Frank Reich was a terrific coach. You're seeing what he's doing over there with the Colts. The guy makes a lot of questionable decisions. The 2-point conversions, the 4th down calls, so on and so forth. I just don't think he's a good head coach. I thought he handled Carson Wentz horribly. He's coming back, in my opinion, and I don't know if it's been said yet definitively, but all signs point to it. Him and Howie Roseman, and we'll get more into Roseman. I think Doug Peterson is a very bad head coach, and all signs point to that he will be coming back, because for him to do this, if he wasn't given the go-ahead to do this, then he was just trying to lose his job. I would imagine ownership said, yeah, we want to get the better pick. Do what you got to do. Bench the starters. If anybody has a nosebleed, take them out. And you saw what he did. Alshon Jeffrey, healthy scratch. Deshaun Jackson, Miles Sanders, Fletcher Cox, their best defensive player. And I know they got nothing to play for. But the way they coached that game from within the game, and when they took out Hurts at the start of that 4th quarter for Nate Sudfeld, that was the icing on the cake. That's when the Eagles showed, yeah, we're tanking. And as a Giants fan, the fact that Peterson is coming back alone, I'm happy. I don't think he's a good head coach. I think he's a bad head coach. But the fact he's going to come back in these circumstances with this team that knows that ownership and their head coach sold them out for how hard they have to work each and every week, how are the players going to be excited to come back and play for him? So as a Giants fan, I am thrilled. As an Eagles fan, you should be embarrassed. You should be embarrassed. And you might not admit it if you're an Eagles fan. You're going to laugh and you're going to say, the Giants are out. We kicked you guys out. Ha, ha, ha. No. You guys embarrassed yourselves in front of the whole NFL. And I'm not even upset that we missed the playoffs. Of course, I want to make the playoffs. But at the end of the day, I like where my team's at. And I can make an argument that the New York Giants are in a much better place now because you did what you did. And I'm going to tell you why. One, the schedule is easy. I went over to my schedule video today. But just the mentality. You know, you go on social media yesterday and you look at all the New York Giants players. You look at Logan Ryan tweeting out what he tweeted, Martinez, so on and so forth. The New York Giants fans were pissed. They felt disrespected. They felt that the Eagles came out and intentionally tried to lose that football game. And don't think that the Cowboys didn't feel the same way, because they would have been in the same situation the New York Giants were, and the Eagles would have done the same thing. These guys were announced to not be starters at the beginning of the week. So this was always in the plans. The Eagles were intentionally trying to lose this football game, or they definitely didn't give a crap whether or not they won or lost it, which is completely understandable in the situation they were. And I am not upset as a New York Giant fan that we did not make the playoffs. We did not deserve to make the playoffs. We went 6-10. We lost 3 games in a row. Down the stretch, had we won one, we would have been able to control our own destiny, and this wouldn't have even been a situation. But as a Giants fan, seeing you guys completely lose that locker room, and I see that you guys bring back Howie Roseman, who undoubtedly will not try to rebuild. He'd be stupid to do so. He has to try to continue to save his job if Roseman stays on. And he will continue to, make Band-Aid fixes. And I saw this as a New York Giant fan. I saw it with Jerry Reese. What the Philadelphia Eagles need right now is a complete rebuild. They need to completely blow it up. And what the Eagles have done is the complete opposite. They're going to have now a head coach and a general manager that are going to continue to try to save a sinking ship. And you're not going to be able to do it. The Eagles are in too bad of a cap situation. They're in just too bad of a situation. And now you couple on the fact that you have players in that locker room that don't feel like their head coach is trying to win football games in any given situation. It's one thing to rest guys that are hurt with lingering injuries. It's another thing to pull out your quarterback going into the fourth quarter when these guys work their asses off every single week and they give you everything they have. These guys have no guarantees that they're coming back with the Philadelphia Eagles. These guys put their bodies on the line each and every week. And they'd be dumb and naive to think that Nate Sudfeld gave them the best opportunity to win that football game last night after you benched all the players that you did. So I think they lost the locker room. And then you couple on the rest of the division. The New York Giants and their fans, but obviously we don't have much to do with it. The players, the coach, Joe Judge, they're going to come out next year with a chip on their shoulder. And they're going to have something to prove when they go up against the Philadelphia Eagles. And we're not going to forget about this. New York Giants aren't going to forget about this. Joe Judge comes from the school of Bill Belichick, okay? We all know Bill Belichick. He's not scared to run up the score, okay? And if the Giants have the opportunity next year to make an example out of the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Dallas Cowboys have an opportunity to make an example out of the Philadelphia Eagles, you bet your ass they're going to do it. I have no doubt in my mind. And as a Giants fan, in a way, I'm happy. I think it benefits us. I think it gives us something to go into next year with some fight and say, yeah, it's payback time. It's payback time. And I'm glad that this rivalry is back, because I think the New York Giants are going to start to turn things around in this New York Giants-Philadelphia Eagles rivalry. I thought that going into this year, and you saw that really in both games. We outplayed them in both games, but I'm happy. At the end of the day, right now I'm not. I wish we were in the playoffs, but going into next year, I'm going to be happy that the Eagles did what they did, because they motivated the New York Giants, and in my opinion, they started to lose their locker room. And they did it all so they could be picking 6th instead of 9th. And they'd probably get the same player at 9 that they're going to get at 6 anyway. It's funny to me. It's funny to me, but as a Giants fan, I'm ear to ear as I continue to see the incompetence in that Philadelphia Eagles disgusting organization. Love it. As always, guys, if you like what you watch, please subscribe. Drop a comment. Maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.